Hello friends, welcome back and thank you for joining. Today I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about one of my favorite cigars that has come out of General in the last couple of years, and that is the Cohiba Royale. Now, I love Cohiba overall, but this Royale, to be honest, has really just knocked it out of the park. It has what you would expect from Cohiba, which is quality and consistency, but it's also adding diversity to the line of what already exists. So I want to talk about the blend for a second here so you guys can get a sense for what has gone into this that makes it such a phenomenal cigar. So for the wrapper, we are using a Nicaraguan broadleaf that's coming from the Jalapa region. Now the Jalapa region in Nicaragua is very sought after. It is grown at a higher elevation and it has ideal moist microclimates and also kind of this reddish hue in the soil. So if you notice the wrapper on this, it's got that beautiful, almost like deep red brown color. So when we talk about the soil, it doesn't only affect the flavor, but also the appearance, and that's very evident in this cigar. And that particular wrapper, the broadleaf coming from Jalapa, is very unique in both flavor and appearance. We are using Dominican Piloto Cubano for the binder, and we're using Honduran Jamastran as well as Nicaraguan Esteli for the fillers. So you're getting a really nice three-country blend to round out and balance the flavors of this cigar. And the great thing is that each leaf we use is aged at least 5 to 6 years. So it's, again, what you'd expect from Cohiba: quality, consistency, and just an amazing flavor. What's also interesting about this cigar is that it's coming out of our Honduran factory. So typically Cohibas are coming out of our Dominican Republic factory in Santiago. However, this is coming from our Hatza factory in Danlí. And I just love the balance and the complexity. But kind of like I was talking about with some other blends, specifically the Hoyo Epicure Selection, is that it's complex without being overly complex. And again, that's not a bad thing. So for this particular cigar, I get 3 or 4 more distinct flavors as opposed to maybe 5 or 6 more subtle flavors. So this smoking experience, I'm getting a little bit more pepper and earthiness, some cedar notes, and a little nuttiness as well. It's also a fairly full-bodied cigar, but it's not bitey at all. It's very flavor forward, but very smooth. And as far as pairings go, I would recommend like a Scotch style ale, or on that note, even just plain Scotch. But I love the Scotch style ale beer because it smooths it out a little bit. It's not quite as sharp as Scotch can be, and this cigar is not sharp at all. You have those really intense flavor notes, but like I said, it's so smooth through and through. And for myself, I am a red wine drinker, so I would recommend like a fuller bodied cab to pair well with this as well. You get a little bit of that spice, and I think the sweetness from the red wine and the smoothness is really going to just help sort of balance out the cigar as you're enjoying it. And yeah, this is a fairly new cigar, like I said. It came out in April of this year, 2020, and I have smoked a lot of them. Like I said, I've always been very impressed with the Cohiba line overall. There's such a diverse portfolio, both in flavor and price point. So we have the Cohiba Blue, which is going to be a little bit of a lower price point. I guess it depends on the state, but you're typically looking at about maybe $12 to $14 for that cigar, and it's going to be primarily Honduran based, very smooth, a little bit of cedar to it, a little bit of that kind of quintessential Honduran earthiness and spice. And then of course you have our Cohiba Spectre, which is going to be a little bit higher in price, around that $90 mark, but super, super limited. And there's a reason for it. We're using tobacco that's aged 25 years, and time translates to money. When we're caring for tobacco for that long and we're using the best of the best, it makes sense that that cigar is that price. And then we have some really unique blends like the Silencio that Sean Williams does for his events. So if you've never been to a Sean Williams event, it's absolutely worth going. He's such an amazing guy. He runs a really great event, and the Silencio is an amazing cigar. But it's worth going just to meet Sean alone, because I truly cannot say enough good things about him, just like I cannot say enough good things about this cigar. And this cigar is the perfect example of what you would expect from something that's using not only the best tobaccos from the best growing regions like Jamastran and Esteli and Jalapa, but also that aging process that is ensuring at least 5 to 6 years per leaf. And it's really letting those flavors kind of shine through and give you everything that you could possibly want out of the smoking experience from this cigar. So I love it. It's smooth, it's flavorful, that beautiful oily wrapper. It holds an ash very, very well. Now, if I was going to sit down and smoke this, I'm going to tell you what album I would listen to. And this is both because I think there's some nice similarities between the album and the cigar, but also because Sean and I actually share a favorite artist, and that is Earth, Wind & Fire. Now, Earth, Wind & Fire, classic band, just like Cohiba is a classic cigar. And that album has everything, I mean everything you could want out of an album. You have the phenomenal vocals of Philip Bailey on I'll Write a Song for You. You have Be Ever Wonderful, Fantasy, Serpentine Fire. So you're taking these songs that are so different in styling and then bringing them all together to create this masterpiece that is the Earth, Wind & Fire All in All album. And that's exactly how I feel about this cigar. You're taking tobaccos that are inherently unique from each other and you're bringing them together and you're making it's this wonderful culmination of a flavor forward, smooth, nutty, cedary, peppery smoke. And it's a cigar that I look forward to continuing to smoke for quite some time. Just like I will listen to Earth, Wind & Fire forever. So if you guys have tried this cigar and you enjoy it, please let me know. If you have any comments on it or questions specifically, please let me know as well. So let's give this a rating. The draw is great. The smoke production is great. I would say it's fairly average smoke production, not quite as smoky as that Diesel Delirium, although I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of cigars as smoky as that Diesel Delirium. But draw, definitely 10 out of 10. Burn is even. There's just enough resistance in the draw where it's still comfortable to smoke and you don't feel like you need to really work at it to get that smoke production. As I've noted in some of these other videos, I've also been talking a lot. I've been smoking the cigar for about 20 minutes now and I have not had to touch it up, so the burn is consistent, it's even, and you really don't have to babysit it. Flavor is 10 out of 10. There's no bitterness. It's not overly spicy. You have all these flavors working together to deliver just the perfect balance that you would want out of a cigar to really just smoke anytime and enjoy it. For somebody who is a seasoned cigar smoker, I imagine that they would very much enjoy the complexity of this. I probably wouldn't recommend it for a newer smoker in that it is a little bit fuller bodied, but if you're going to introduce somebody to Cohiba for the first time, I think that the Cohiba Royale would be a great cigar to turn them towards. So I hope you enjoy this cigar as much as I do. Stay safe, stay smoky, and I will talk to you guys later.